Hey Aries, and welcome back to Deku Tarot and to your mid-September 2020 reading. I've missed you guys and it's so good to be back. We're going to use the Gustav Klimt deck here to look at what the rest of September has in store for you and just really see what's coming up here, all right? I've missed you guys a lot. Oh, your card came right out of the middle of the deck there. So that's awesome. Let's talk about Mars retrograding in your sign here. Mars is in the sign that it should be here, Aries. I feel like I'm saying everything really weird, probably because my Mars is in Aries as well. And Mars retrograding in Aries has just been, for me so far. And it's going to be retrograding until November 13th. So let's talk about this because Mars is your planet. The planet that represents you, the planet that's associated with Aries, and it is retrograding. So that's really going to bring down everyone's energy, especially yours. I mean, it's really focused on you guys. So you guys especially are going to be feeling a lot less energy driven than we usually do. Aries are known to have a lot of energy. As someone with Mars and Aries, I feel like I always find it really hard to sleep. I have a ton of energy no matter what, especially when I'm working. If I'm throwing my energy at something, it's like 110% right up until I crash. And I feel that's very Mars and Aries. But when it's retrograding in it, it's really slowing our roll. We have so much less energy to drive towards our goals, towards our work, towards anything we're passionate about, really. And it's going to force us to really reassess where we're at with these current projects and goals, and possibly, turning pressure inward on ourselves here, which could feel very uncomfortable as we reassess our approach to how we really get what we want, the nature of our desires and our drive. And we're going to also, especially us, we're going to really need to be aware here that we might feel the need to really instigate a lot more arguments and issues with people, and we're just going to have to try not to do that, all right? I'm going to have to really review also any old interests, ideas, passions. Those things could definitely be coming up here. Projects, our inner motivations and desires are all being brought up to be reevaluated, reassessed, and see if anything from the past that has been there is worth moving into the future, or should we let it go? And the Emperor showing up right away here in mid-September is really positive sign, but it focuses on where we hold power. Oh my gosh, guys. Wow. Okay. I said, oh my gosh. What's wrong with me? Why are these cards stuck together? That's weird. Sorry. The Tower shows up. Apparently it's stuck for some reason to another card, which is really weird. I feel like there was water things spilled on these because why are they all wavy? Suspicious. What happened in here? Anyways, the Tower showing up with the Emperor. Like I was saying, you guys have a lot of frustrated energy that can cause fights, that can cause issues right now. We really, again, have to watch that. Don't instigate problems that you don't want to have. It could turn into a Tower moment. We really have to watch out for that. Okay, watch how we speak, watch how we come across. We might find that we have a lot of rage that comes out of nowhere, a lot of frustration that comes out of nowhere. And yet, this actually came out before it. I don't know why I pulled it out that way. I saw it on the bottom of the deck. Wow. I mean, what a change that this Tower brings in. There's actually more peace and harmony. There's more focus on what's going to be successful. If something ends, it needed to end. If something does fall apart, if a major change happens that you bring on, it actually ends up being, it seems pretty positive. Let's look a little deeper at this Tower here, though. Ooh, come on. What is this Tower? We need to know about this Tower moment here. That's quite a change. It's quite a marked change. Especially energy-wise. Where we felt deeply lacking, where we felt left out, It might have a lot to do, for some of you, with family. Let's be honest here, because the Four of Wands does come up. It might be really frustrated in that. It might be a lot of frustrations in terms of your relationships with them and how we see eye to eye or don't see eye to eye. On how comfortable we feel. We might see other people's families and be like, wow, like they share the same mindset, they share the same beliefs and all this stuff, and we might not have that with our parents or their family in the situation. There just seems to be a real feeling of being left out, a feeling like there's a wall between this and this here. Like you're on the outskirts and they're here and you don't know how to get there. And there's a real moment here where this is brought right to the forefront of what's going on, of your brain, of whatever this is. I don't know if it's that somebody says something, that something happens, but there's a change. There's a real sudden change here in terms of maybe, and I really want to look at that because it feels very unexpected. I think for a lot of you, you have to realize that what you want maybe can't be exactly, it can't be exactly what you want, what you desire, what you've always kind of held on to. Wow, I really wish our family situation can be like this. I wish we could all get along. I wish we all had the same beliefs. But it could be, just like for an example, there was some terrible movie that I watched a while ago, and I can't think of what it's called. I think it's like The Dinner or Thanksgiving. I don't know. But it's like these two sides of the family who are like, I think one's like sides are, I don't know, the kids are a Democrat and like the parents are Republican or something like that. And they just get into this crazy thing. And then the whole movie gets really bad and everything. But it's kind of like that. Like you don't want it to be that way, but we're just not getting along. We just don't have the same values, the same ideas. And you could be like, sometimes like, how did I come from you? Or how did, you have me, like when we're so different? Or how are we related when we're just like not the same people? And Aries, being the first sign out, are very independent, going for everything. But because we're also the first sign out, we do sometimes crave support. We crave the love. We don't necessarily need it all the time, but on a deep level, yeah, maybe we do feel like in a way that we've needed that and we haven't received it. We haven't received that support, that ability to have that kind of relationship, because they won't see you or what you're saying in a serious way, or you guys just, again, it could be for many reasons, just are not seeing eye to eye, cannot appreciate and respect each other in the way that you would like it to be, so that we can have this close, intimate relationship. The Six of Wands comes in to break down some barriers. Death, Four of Pentacles. Ooh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. This Tower moment shifts things for you. And I think it might make you feel very alone at first, but it also forces you guys to move beyond something. And I'm not saying this has to be a family situation, but it has something to do with what we want in terms of a family, what we want in terms of a home, where we see ourselves living, moving, whatever. It's a real change. Like, I feel alone. I don't want to be here anymore. And again, it might not just be a family thing. It could be that we miss friends. We could miss people that we call our family, and we're feeling really alone wherever it is that we are, or that we just don't. It might not even be people. We just don't feel nurtured by our living situation. We're not happy where we're at. We don't feel successful. We don't feel the love. We're not feeling it. We're not feeling comfortable. And we have to work past why we have a hard time reaching out for what it is that we really want. What blocks us from that? What do we expect? We expect things to fall apart. We have a certain distrust, again, maybe from the past. Friendships, family, where they've let us down, where we felt betrayed. And we've held on to these endings, these deaths. And for the first time ever, I feel like I would refer to that. Maybe not like in meaning actual death, but the death maybe of a relationship, of a friendship, of our faith in someone. So we've held on to these things deeply. And Aries, let's be honest, a lot of people don't refer to Aries as a very stubborn sign, but we hold on to these things. We are kind of known to hold grudges, and if somebody messes with us or someone that we love, never again. Never again. You're burned for life. That's it. You're gone. You're done. Goodbye. I don't need that. Even if we did actually want that apology, even if we did want that relationship, it's not going to be there unless we make a move on that, unless we say something about it, unless we say this is where I want to be, or this is the relationship I want to have, and this gets in the way. Why is that? And is it within us, or is it within somebody else? I think it's going to be different for different ones of you. That Nine of Wands. You also have to recognize that it can't just be blamed on somebody else. It's also our reaction and how we handle it as well. Sometimes we must forgive with the grace of unconditional love for us to really understand and really move past these things. Oof. Aries, Aries, Aries. But we have a dream, and we have desires, and we have something that we know is going to make us really happy. For those of you who have wanted to move, who have wanted, again, to live somewhere else, that's going to be a major focus for you guys, and also a major fear. You're going to feel very dreamy and unrealistic about it because you won't have the energy to drive at it like you usually do. And that's just, unfortunately, the energy of Mars retrograding in your sign right now. Is that we have these things that we want. We have, wow, I do still really want to do that thing that I wanted when I was a kid. I do still really want to live in another country. I do still really want to go for that kind of job. I do still see myself living on my own, doing this, or, you know, getting an RV and traveling. There's things that we want, and that are going to come, that these things that we've wanted and that we've held on to, maybe forgotten, that are going to be coming back up. And some of it, I feel really excited about. If you can find the energy to drive towards it, don't put that pressure just inwards, put it outwards. Start making moves, start doing what needs to be done. Aries, we kind of get pinned as the idea person, but not the person who's going to put in the work. Everyone always is like, oh, just Aries is the idea person, and then you give it to a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, and they'll do it. But it's time for you to throw your energy at it. It's time for you to pave the path. It's time for you to say what you want and to put that out there into the universe instead of driving it inwards and saying it's just an idea I'll save for a time when I'm ready. We got to start making those first steps, even though, I mean, again, a lot of people are like, oh, Mars and Aries don't go for new things. But if you can start taking those steps forward and you have enough energy for that, see where you're at by the end of it. If you still want to do it, go for it. I think that you will. So I think that this forces you to reassess, evaluate, and analyze on a slower level than usual. It forces you to make these decisions and to sit at that crossroads and really think about which direction leads where, and why we haven't been able to make that decision yet, and why we haven't really confronted it up until this point. We've just been going along like the fool, but I don't mean like an actual fool, but just like the fool, like things are going to work out. It's fine. It's good. But now... I mean, literally, as I say the fool, look what comes out, guys. How crazy is that? I'm going around like the fool. But it's time to make some decisions. And it's time to look at why we've, you know, again, been running around without looking at where we're stepping and where we're headed and the long-term plans of it all. It's time to start making these long-term plans about home, about love, about family, about who you want to be, and about what the kind of life you really see yourself living physically around you, you know, career, money, friends, home, where you see yourself growing. There's a lot of that and focus here, and a lot of needing to shift there. And again, relationships with family, if you have issues there, that's obviously very prevalent. Your issues with your mother will come up, and you will have to find a way to bridge these gaps, to communicate about this feeling that feels so lonely. You'll never understand me. Maybe you don't really love me the same way I love you. You're not going to give me the love that I've wanted and needed because we don't see each other eye to eye. This is what I want, but this is where I'm at. And I feel foolish for not trying to overstep that, to step forward, to step up and change that. Sometimes pride gets in the way, and the energy that we can usually throw at pride is not here. Instead, again, it's being driven inward and forcing us to analyze how it may have gotten in the way of love, of true connection, of respecting and accepting, despite where we come from. There's a whole new way of seeing things that opens up to you, surprisingly, when Mars is retrograding your sign. And yeah, it's going to feel frustrating to not be able to throw that energy at the things you want to. You're going to be like, well, I have some energy, but now where do I take it? Well, don't rush. Analyze. Think about it. You have until November 13th, or really late December when it goes fully direct. But so for the last half of this year, this last quarter, let's think about where we see ourselves in 2021, on where we want to go, on who we want to be, on the decisions we want to make, and how we want to bridge some really intense gaps of where we're at, and how alone and in lack and stuck and just at a loss that we feel like we have nothing and we don't have that connection, that warmth, that true friendship, that true love, that true connection with family, that home that we really want, the life, really, all of it, and what we need to do to get beyond that, confront our barriers and the walls we put up and why they're there and what they actually keep out, rather than just any mistrust that we've had. Wow. And once we figure out where we felt at odds with ourselves, we can make a choice here to move forward. You guys have a lot of cards on the table here, but whatever, we're going with it. And I'm going to just shift this just a bit, hopefully so that we can see all of them. I didn't realize that the camera kind of moved. But yeah, 5 of Wands, 7 of Swords, the Chariot, the Lovers. We can bring things back into alignment. We can bring things back into our control if we're willing to bring, again, get all these things, these disparaging things, like I want this, but I'm not willing to, you know, do anything about it. Or I'm not willing to, I want things to progress with this, but I'm not willing to apologize. Well, why not? Do you really feel that you have nothing to apologize for? Probably not. For some of you, it's needing to step up and be the bigger person that you've been needing to be for a very long time about something. Stepping up in some way. Confronting these areas where you're uncomfortable within yourself, these things that you hold on to. What's still there that's eating away at you, that stops you from, what's stealing your energy, really? And what has been bothering you for all this time that you're still holding on to. Mars in Aries retrograding is going to bring all of that up. And you're going to have to start bringing these things into alignment. You'll be like, oh, maybe that's why these things haven't progressed. Maybe this is why I'm still feeling this way. And by facing these things, dealing with them, and choosing to go forward in a very specific way rather than ignoring it now, you will conquer it. And you will bring more love and light and peace into your life. These doorways will open. The blockages are these things that you need to face. That your pride has not let you face. That your energy has not let you slow down enough to notice. So let's pull an oracle. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Ooh, coming right out here is Harmony. So we're just going to go with it. Harmony. Beautiful. Harmony lives in the lodge of balance and involves equilibrium between the physical and spiritual aspects of your life. For there to be harmony, there must be balance. Imagine yourself as the hub of a sacred wheel standing in the center. This wheel must function every day of your life. If you imagine that the south is your physical self, the west your emotional self, the north your spiritual self, and the east your mental self, you see that you stand in an ancient wheel of truth. Consider whether you spend as much time in the physical south as you do in the spiritual north. Are they balanced? Are they in harmony? Reflect on whether you spend more time in your emotions west than you do in your mind east. Adjust your daily life by being aware of your actions and behavior patterns, and to incorporate equal effort in all directions so that your wheel will function in perfect harmony. It's time to sit and find some peace in that harmony. You can't be rushing around. This is a card of really sitting and being at peace, of taking time to bring about that harmony and to, again, ask yourself all these things to find that balance. Some beautiful, beautiful messages here, Aries. Love you guys so much. If you haven't, do make sure to subscribe, guys. Do make sure to check out the description box below if you want to book a private reading. All the information is there. Just shoot me an email. And if you haven't, do check me out over on Instagram at Deku Tarot. And have a wonderful rest of September, guys. Leave me a comment. I love reading your comments. I love hearing from you guys. And let me know any other types of content or videos you would like to see in the comments. Okay? Love you so much. Namaste.